Akshat Kumar Singh.
Good evening, sir.
Please
Thank
come,
you, sir.
Akshat. Please sit down. So, Akshat, tell us about yourself very briefly.
Okay, sir.
Your academic qualifications, your work experience, if you have done anything after graduation,
Okay,
and your main hobbies.
Okay, sir. So my name is Akshat Kumar Singh and I belong from Delhi. I have done my schooling from Delhi itself. I have graduated in civil engineering from IIT Roorkee in 2019. During my graduation, I have participated in various extracurricular activities, including various leadership positions at Himalayan Explorers Club as well as MHRD project Untitled Chapter Abhiyan. My hobbies include playing fingerstyle guitar as well as trekking and camping.
So, Akshat, you are a civil engineer.
Yes, sir.
And you have done from IIT Roorkee.
Yes, sir.
So, you were in Uttarakhand for a long time.
Yes.
So, Uttarakhand has ecologically it is very sensitive.
Yes.
And time and again you have disasters. So, as a civil engineer, what are the things which you have identified there are the reasons for these disasters, especially the man-made disasters? And what solutions can you offer? You can just highlight.
Answering the first question, there are various reasons which affect the which make Uttarakhand ecologically sensitive. First of all is its geographical position. Sir, it is alongside the Himalayas, on the foothills of Himalayas as well as in the Himalayas. So, sir, it makes it very sensitive for human establishment. Second, sir, anthropological reasons, which are human settlements which are unplanned. As I have been to Uttarakhand many times, I have seen that various human settlements are not scientifically planned and they are very spontaneously made, which makes it very disaster prone. And so the solutions for it, so first of all, the main solution can be to make it planned. The whole residential development as well as industrial developments can be more planned. Second, sir, various new technologies can be used during this planning, which include geotextiles as well as piling of the mountain slopes.
Tell me, this urbanization, there was a time when there was a lot of focus on providing services in the rural sector in India. Now there is a rush for urbanization. So is urbanization going to be of utility and the interest of, in Indian context, will it be of interest? Or you think that we should stick to the same old policy of building rural areas so that there's not much migration from the rural area to urban areas?
Sir, urban areas are very well important for the economy as well as society, but we also need to work on our rural areas. Sir, because as we know, there are various downsides to urbanization, which include materialization, overburden on the environment, as well as ill effects on human society. Sir, we can learn these things from rural society. For example, the feeling of community, the sustainable development, as well as incorporation of environment into its development. So, sir, I think that urbanization is important, but we should also look forward towards developing rural areas.
What are the steps which government has taken for urban development? Can you list 2-3 years?
So, first of all is Smart Cities project, where various cities were identified to develop them as smart cities. Sir, second, there was development of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, a separate ministry.
It was already there, always there.
Yes.
It's not a scheme.
No, sir, it is not a scheme. Identifying and making a separate ministry for urban affairs. That's what I'm talking about.
Any other step that you could think of?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to think.
So, smart city, what are the ingredients of a smart city? Give me 4 or 5 points. What do you look in for a smart city?
Sir, first of all, the focus is more on technologically driven development in smart cities. Second, sir, there is an incorporation of environment as well as human factor in the development of smart cities. Third, sir, smart cities aim at building a community of people which develop the city together for their growth as well as the growth of cities.
Akshat, you're from Delhi.
Yes, sir.
Delhi has, planned a new master plan.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about it?
Sir, if I'm sure, are you talking about the Delhi after 100 years of?
No, I'm talking of 2041 draft
Okay.
master plan.
Yes, sir. I've heard, but I'm not very much read about it. Yes.
Akshat ji, you talk of the ecosystems and the ecological condition of the Uttarakhand hills.
Yes, sir.
I would like to understand from you, it is alleged
Yes, sir.
that the unplanned construction of hydroelectric power stations and the consequent blasting is also responsible for making the land very brittle and fragile. Number one, your observations. Then the unplanned expansion, illegal constructions also contributed as they contributed in the Kedarnath tragedy. Your take.
Yes. Sir, first of all, yes, any unplanned type of development can make the area ecologically sensitive. So, sir, as you said, hydrological power plants which are made unscientifically obviously make it more disastrous, more prone to disasters. And
The Kedarnath tragedy.
yes, sir. Yeah, the Kedarnath tragedy. Yes, sir. The unplanned development was very well responsible for the Kedarnath strategy, because there is a adaptive capacity of any system, any ecosystem. Sir, the unplanned development breached that adaptive capacity, because of which it was more prone to disasters. And as we saw it in 2014 Kedarnath strategy, it happened.
If today you have a say in contributing to preserving the ecology of the Uttarakhand, what would be your top 3 priorities?
3 priorities. So first of all would be a planned development. As I have said in many times, there should be a proper plan for anthropological development, for development of residential areas. The second would be incorporating environment along with the human needs into that plan, so that
What is your idea in respect of particular peculiarity of agriculture in the hill areas? Because traditional agriculture that happens in the place is not appropriate and suited for hill agriculture.
Yes,
so that it is conducive to the forest ecosystem. Agriculture ecosystem should be compatible to the forest ecosystem. How would you identify that particular cropping pattern?
So, sir, I'm sorry, I'm not able to get your question. Are you asking
agriculture practices in the hill areas conducive to preserving the ecosystem?
How do we identify them?
Not to identify, what are the agricultural practices that you should, suppose I would say that I would want to grow certain particular crops,
yes,
which are probably not endemic to the hill areas. Agriculture and horticulture should be specific to the hill area so that they don't erode the ecosystem. They reinforce the ecosystem.
Yes, sir. Sir, we should focus on terrace farming, because, sir, suppose we have various slopes in Uttarakhand, and if we are doing agriculture on the slopes, then it can lead to erosion of soil as well as various landslides.
Okay, now we come to disasters.
Yes, sir.
What is a disaster and how many kind of disasters are there? Classified all disasters into categories.
Sir, disaster is anything which causes harm to human life as well as human assets. So disaster can be classified into natural as well as man-made disasters.
Give the examples of man-made disasters.
So man-made disaster can be industrial disasters, chemical disasters.
Give examples.
Sir, industrial disasters, for example, the Chernobyl nuclear leak in Russia.
Any Indian example?
Sir, Bhopal gas tragedy was also an industrial disaster.
Good. Yes.
Then, sir, recently in Visakhapatnam.
And which particular police force is trained specifically to cater and intervene and assist in disasters?
Sir, as far as I am able to remember, it is CISF.
And the name of the force is?
Central Industrial Security Force.
Okay, never mind. Now we come to Delhi itself.
Yes.
There are particular problems in respect of pollution and depleting oxygen levels during winter months.
Yes.
And we go on saying it's burning of parali, it is this and it is that, but we generally have not come out with flying colors. Why have we failed miserably in the last 7 years to address this issue?
Sir, first of all, as you said, the stubble burning issue is still going on in Punjab and in the nearby areas. Sir, we are not been able to convince the farmers to avoid burning stubble. and according to various researches, it accounts for 50% of the pollution in Delhi.
Okay, Akshat, my last question to you.
Yes, sir.
I would like to understand the difference between the police commissioner system and the traditional police system, and which is more advantageous to serve the cause of the people and why.
Sir, as far as I remember, the police commissionerate system gives more powers to commissioner as opposed to the district collector. And sir, towards your second question, I feel in municipal areas, in areas where the population is more than 1 lakh, I think commissionerate system is more equipped to handle the law and order situation, because a commissioner needs to make quick decisions and decision at his or her own disposal. And I think police commissionerate system can be more equipped in such areas.
Key engineer?
Yes, sir.
You used to know it was a different name. What was the name before?
Sir, University of Roorkee.
What is the product of Roorkee known as?
Thomsonian. Sir, because earlier it was known as James Thomson's College of Engineering.
Why was it?
Sir, because James Thomson was, I would say, involved in establishment of Roorkee College of Engineering.
Earlier we used to know that it was only for civil engineering.
Yes, sir.
So it is still only civil.
No, sir, there are various disciplines. Yes, sir.
There used to be a football team there.
Yes.
You know, BEG. Have
Yes,
you heard
sir.
of this? What does BEG to stand for?
Sir, Bengal Engineers Group.
Now I will come to some GK related questions which might be posed to you there. So to start some interest in you. In the recent rise of COVID, the last 2 years, what is your feeling about the role of the World Health Organization, WHO? Did it fail to take control of the situation, or did it warn adequately? Was it equipped well to handle the crisis? What is your personal view on this, WHO's role?
Sir, I feel given the responsibilities and powers, given the responsibility and hold the WHO had over the different countries, it served well in handling the COVID situation, because it helped the countries to standardize the COVID tackling systems and mechanisms, and it also made sure that countries are aware of all the ill effects of COVID and how to handle it.
Okay, so you thought that what you mean by standardization, you mean that an uniformity was introduced among
Yes,
all
sir.
the countries. That is what you mean. The
Yes.
same thing. So you think WHO played a good role.
Yes, sir, I feel.
Tell me something, another world body, United Nations, say UNO,
Yes, sir.
there is conflict going on,
Yes, sir.
there is Russia and Ukraine. How do you rate their performance here in controlling war or this thing? Is it effective?
Sir, given the geopolitical situation, I don't think any world organization has certain hold over deciding the fate of various conflicts. It can only minimize the ill effects of the conflict, which I think United Nations organization is also trying to do by trying to persuade both the countries to resolve the issue through dialogue.
What more can it do, in your opinion?
Sir, I think it,
Yes, agreed that it cannot do away with it, but to minimize, what else can it do?
sir, it can again persuade both the countries to come and provide them a platform so that they can discuss their issues and resolve it through dialogue.
Has the UN done it so far?
No, sir, they have been only asking for it, but
Do
both the
you
countries.
think a trip by the Secretary General of the United Nations to the conflict zones and meeting the leaders of Ukraine and Russia, will it help, you think, such diplomacy?
Yes, sir, to a certain extent it can help, but until and unless both the countries are themselves willing to discuss the issue, it won't be.
Okay, I got your views. Thank you. Now tell me, the last question is, the world, as you know, is gripped with terror,
Yes, sir.
which is the worst menace. ISIS there and everybody, Al-Shabaab, and I'm sure you know the names and all, and you must have prepared for your exams and interview. What do you think, is the world doing enough to control the terror menace? Or there is still to be done? If you agree that it is still to be done, then what measures in brief it should take to be seen to be doing more?
Sir, yes, I don't think that world has done enough to tackle terrorism, because there are various terrorist organizations which are still exploiting people and still
Like name one?
Sir, IAS is one of them. Sir, and 𝐿𝑆₄ is also one of them. And sir, yes, I think there is more that needs to be done. And sir, first of all, what we can do is break the economic chain which funds the terrorism, and the world has not been doing enough to do it. The RATS framework of G7 countries is very well equipped to do it, but it needs to be implemented in a good way.
What about the terror scene in India? You will be a district magistrate tomorrow, or in a senior position in the country. What do you think? Is India doing enough to control terror, legislation wise, effective wise, in Kashmir and other places? Are you satisfied with the action taken?
Sir, I feel that India is doing its part, but it can also do more by better implementation of the provided legislation, as well as various legislation which have certain loopholes that can be done away with.
Which legislation in your mind has loopholes?
Sir, so for example, UAPA has certain loopholes. Sir, for example, an organization or an individual is categorized as terrorist under UAPA. So then there are not various, I would say, provisions for stopping that individual or for justice to that individual, so that terrorism is stopped.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
There is a decision to merge all the 3 MCDs
Yes, sir.
in Delhi. So, in your opinion, how will it help? Is it a good decision, and in what way it will help the people of Delhi?
Sir, I feel it is a decision in right direction, because sir, right now the major challenge that various municipalities faced in Delhi was of funding, and sir, by division of MCDs into 3, the pools of fund was also divided into 3. And sir, as we can see, the South Delhi Municipal Corporation was more enriched with funds because of more taxpayers and better taxpayers there as compared to the other 2. And sir, by unification of all the MCDs, there will be common pooling of the funds, and I think it will be able to provide required funds to the MCDs.
Now, there was a massive fire 2 days back in one of the landfills here. You know,
So Sariska,
it has caused.
are you talking about Sariska?
No, Sariska, I am talking about landfills here in Delhi.
Okay, sir, landfill, yes, sir.
Landfill, which has caused a huge problem for people around landfill.
Yes, sir.
So, do you think that this landfill fire and these keep happening? You know,
Yes, sir.
once in a year, and it causes absolutely unbearable kind of misery to the people in the surrounding area.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that this is because of lack of funds or because of lack of planning?
So this is because of lack of planning as well as lack of funds. Because sir, as we can see, landfills are not scientifically, most of our landfills are not scientifically developed and planned. And so this is because of lack of funds as well as lack of planning. Because there are various machines which can be used and various new technologies which can be used to scientifically plan and dispose of the waste. But because we don't have the fund as well as the required planning, we are not able to do so.
So do you think that the unification of this MCDs would serve some purpose?
Yes, sir, it will definitely serve some purpose towards this direction.
Okay. And you are a civil engineer, no?
Yes, sir.
Now in Tamil Nadu, one engineer has been using this plastic wastes for road construction.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of engineers from different parts of the country they have visited.
Yes, sir.
So, but still it is not, it has not become very popular.
Yes, sir.
What could be the reason?
Sir, first of all, there can be various reasons about it. Sir,
Tell me one or two.
Sir, first of all is the collection of plastic waste in our country is not very well equipped. Sir, we collect all the waste together and we do not
Very good.
bifurcate it into non-renewable and non-recyclable and recyclable. So second is there is a lack of will from the contractors to utilize plastic in road development, because it will lead to a better life of road. And it has been seen in various surveys that various contractors are not willing to use plastic because it will cut short on their business in roads. Yes.
Now you have already discussed problem of pollution in Delhi.
Yes.
And you have made some good suggestions how to. Can you tell me some other problems which you see that all Delhiites are facing?
Other problems?
Yeah. Apart from pollution.
Okay, sir. First of all, there are various problems. First of
Just
all,
tell me one of them.
yes, sir. Sir, one is of waste disposal in our city. Sir, as I have told earlier, that waste in our city is not bifurcated into recyclable and non-recyclable waste.
Who is responsible? People or the our agencies?
Sir, basically people should be doing this, but agencies should put a push towards the people to do so. Sir, and sir, MCDs are persuading people to bifurcate the waste into two, but at times people are not doing so. There have been various initiatives as well by the MCDs by providing different bins to the residents to collect the waste differently.
Now, how about women's safety?
Yes, sir. Women's safety is also a matter of concern nowadays.
Do you think the police department in Delhi has taken some good initiative recently?
Yes, sir. There has been various recent
Just
incentives. Sir, as far as I can recall, there have been dedicated police booths which are equipped with only women, and they are more.
They have also established police thanas.
Yes, sir. Police thana dedicated for women and
fully manned by women.
Fully manned by women. Yes, sir.
Okay. So Delhi also hosts every year Raisina Dialogue. Are you
Yes.
aware of that? What
Yes,
is that
sir.
about?
Sir, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not able to recall it right now.
Last question.
Okay, sir.
BIMSTEC
Yes, sir.
summit happened virtually yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Our Prime Minister spoke on that occasion. What was the main, just 1 or 2 points again, what was the highlight of his address?
Sir, I'm sorry. I have not been able to go through the step.
Okay. No.
Summit.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you tell about the economic impact of Russia-Ukraine war on Indian economy, both positives as well as negatives?
Sir, first of all is the rising price of oil, because sir, the Western countries, especially USA, has been applying various sanctions on countries doing business with Russia. So that sir, this has been increasing the cost of oil. But sir, at the same time, Russia has been providing discounts to India for buying oil. So sir, there has been both positives and negatives. The second is the economy of our country, exports as well as imports have been impacted by the Ukraine-Russia war, because sir, Russia has been a major trade partner of India, and sir, because of the sanctions, it has been trade between both the countries has been hurt.
Okay, since you are a civil engineer, I
Yes,
would
sir.
like to ask you one question.
Yes, sir.
What are the issues with town planning in India, and why there are very less planned cities in India?
Sir, mainly the main reason why there are very less planned cities in India is that the cities in India are not planned beforehand. Cities develop when people are residing there. So then it is very difficult to uproot them and properly plan the area for a planned city. So sir, the major reason is this. Second is sir, lack of funds as well as initiatives as well by the government agencies.
And I would like to ask you one question on your optional subject, which is sociology.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about your favorite sociological thinker or thinkers and give reasons for the same.
Sir, I feel 𝐂𝐨𝐿 Singh is my favorite sociological thinker. And sir, the reason is because he identified modernization. We all know what modernization is, that it is a break from traditionality. But he identified that in India, modernity has not been a break from traditionalism, but it has optimized our traditionalism into a different brand of modernity, which he called Indian brand of modernity. Yes.
Okay. And one last question.
Yes.
Why you are keen to enter into civil services?
So there are various reasons for it, both personal as well as professional. Personally, sir, during my work at MHRD project Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, I realized that there are various potential for work to be done at the grassroots level. So sir, I felt that civil services would provide me that opportunity. Second, sir, professionally, I feel that civil services can provide me a diverse job as challenging, as well as a job which can help me contribute towards the growth of the nation as well as my own growth. These are the reasons.
Good. I pass on to Chairman, sir.
Akshat, if we see the neighborhood
Yes, sir.
Around India, Afghanistan is ruled by Taliban, which we haven't recognized. Pakistan is undergoing a very turbulence politically and unstable. Sri Lanka is in financial distress. Now, is this situation with weak neighbors, should India be happy or sad?
Sir, I think India should be sad and careful as well, because sir, any volatile neighborhood can cause various threats to India, both economically as well as security wise.
Tell me specifically for Sri Lanka, how can Sri Lanka financial distress can cause problems for India?
Sir, first of all, there are cases of refugees, economic refugees, which have been leaving Sri Lanka and coming to India through our ports for better economic future for themselves. Second, sir, there has been again trade between both the countries, and sir, because we have a major Tamil community which we share both in India as well as in Sri Lanka, sir, trade has been a major part between the two communities. So, sir, that will also be affected.
Akshat, my last question would be from the subject of your choice, which you would tell me.
Okay,
Any
sir.
topic that you would like me to ask a question from?
Sir, I think you can ask a question from social issues, I guess.
From social issues.
Any social issue, yes, sir.
So tell me, how is women's safety
Yes, sir.
and women empowerment better or worse in Uttarakhand vis-a-vis Delhi?
Okay, sir. Sir, I feel there are mixed interpretation of both the cases. Sir, in various aspects, women empowerment is better in Uttarakhand, and in various aspects it is better in Delhi. For example, financially and economically, women have more avenues in Delhi as compared to Uttarakhand. Sir, but as compared to in regards of safety, I feel Uttarakhand is more safe for women than Delhi.
So Akshat, we finish our formal interview now.